few weeks ago, a good friend on Instagram called Lewis showed me a picture of his recent purchase, followed by him saying I could borrow them for a YouTube video. They were two British Leyland pocket guides from 1978 and 1984, and they contained tons of information about the latest BL cars at the time. I was absolutely fascinated by them, and it was an offer I could not resist, so he sent them over. Lewis posted them from Scotland and they landed on my doormat in Cheshire the very next day. Now sat on my desk, let's dig deep into the world of British Leyland. But first, we kick off with a letter from Lewis himself. It reads, "Hi Daniel, I hope the entire Actor House clan and Paolo are well. Paolo being the Fiat Panda 100 HP. Check out the video in the pop-out banner up there. Here's some historical goodies for you to enjoy with some bonus pictures." The pictures are there, and then there are the brochures. We'll come to them in a minute. That was just a sneak peek. So there's the Leyland Cars Pocket Guide, which is from February 1978, and the Austin Rover Pocket Guide from October 1984. A long time ago it is, and it does smell old as well. We'll come to that again in a bit, because this is the smelly vision, not just television, because it's my channel and it's extra special. And then it's got some pictures of other random cars. Again, we'll come to them a bit later on. It says, "Enjoy the throwbacks to yesteryear and hope to hear again soon. All the best, Lewis. P.S. You'll be amazed what was once considered extra." It's very true, actually. Cars have changed massively over the past, 20-something years. No, sorry, 40-something years. I went completely maths bonkers then. A lot has changed. Obviously, I've got a picture here of an interior, and that is a Austin Allegro, although it wasn't really an Austin Allegro, the Vanden Pla, and that's just as an example. We'll come to that again a bit later on in the video. There is a reason that's there. But you can just see how much cars have changed. I know I'm pointing out the obvious, but it's important that it's pointed out. Cars have changed massively, and if I look out of my Christmas Eve window, you can see, I mean, there's a 2007 Montego ST, and even that is just, that's modern compared to that Vanden Pla that's on my computer screen. So there we go. We'll come to that again later on. But I think we should have a look underneath this lovely letter, and we should have a look what we're dealing with in this video. So, stuff the letter away. Let's start off with the photographs that Lewis has kindly provided us with. So there's 3 pictures here, and some information with each one. Let's go for the info for this lovely little Mini. It says, it's got the registration, USR 914K. It's a 1971 Mark III Mini, M3, Mark III, I'm guessing that means. 998cc, 1 litre, and it was his mum's first car. It's a lovely car, that. It's got the old plates and everything. Old house in the background. It's a really nice photograph, actually. And I believe it's a, what do you call them? What are them cameras that instantly print out? Do you know what? I always have this. Whenever I'm behind a camera or behind a microphone to podcast or something and I need to remember a word, I always forget the word. You know, the camera that just comes out instantly. It'll probably come back to me. Polaroid, that's it. Polaroid camera. You can see because it comes out and you have to shake it to get the colour. And it's got this greeny effect, so that's really nice, but we'll put that there. There's another picture. This is actually superb quality for the age. C975 KGB is the registration on that one, and it's a 1985 Austin Maestro, 1.3 litre, and it was his mum and dad's first car shared together, both their third car purchase, taken 1989 or 1990. So that photo is about 30 years old, but I would say it's comparable to a picture on some smartphones today. So that's actually a really, really nice photo, something to look after, definitely. Austin Maestro, I do like them, something about them. It's a simplicity, so we'll put that there. And the third and final picture, before we move on to the legendary brochures, is this, a Fiat. Who obviously knows I'm a Fiat fan, obviously, massive, massive Fiat fan. RRS 187R is the registration on that one. And it's a 1977 Fiat 132 GLS 1800 Auto. I love the old names from the 80s and the 70s. It's so complicated, all the GLS and the GL and the GXL, all of them names, they're just cool, aren't they? And it just makes me wish I was around, but then not wish that I was old, you know, just constantly be young, but be around in that era, if you know what I mean. Apparently there's some beauties in the background written here, And I'm probably not going to know most of these because it's not my era, but I believe that there's an Allegro, could be a Nova or something, I don't really know. Some car experts that were maybe around back then, have a quick gaze into this photograph and let me know in the comments section below some cars you can spot from this picture here and which one is your favourite. And I love the Fiat. I love all Fiats really, so yeah, that's really, really superb. What we'll do is we'll put them here in front of us to look at while we're doing this video, and then we can set my desk up, my lovely tiny desk, to have a bit of a gander at the brochures. So, give me a minute. So there we go, with the power of editing, my desk is magically set up to have a look at these two brochures. Nice thickness to them, and they're actually in surprisingly good condition. But if I take a smell of each one, now Lewis told me to do this, you can actually smell old men and old cars. You know that smell you can, like old fabrics, you know, you go to your grandparents' house or something and you smell their jacket from their wedding in like, I don't know, the 1970s. It smells of that, or it smells of old oil or cigars or something. It's just, it's got that smell to it, and I think that's really nice. It adds that touch of classical history to them. It's nice. It's a shame the viewers at home can't smell, but I'm having to describe it to you. But they're actually very, very nice. You got these off eBay, as you might have seen from the messages at the start of the video with my professional voiceovers that I did underneath my duvet like a moron. But they're actually in good condition, but they've got signs of aging, which I really like. Bit like my vintage bicycle, it's in good condition, but it's got obvious signs of age, which I really like. And it's not completely ruined. I mean, I've got some TCV magazines from like 2009, and they're in worse condition than these from like the 70s and the 80s. So they've obviously been really well looked after. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at the front cover of each book, and then we're going to go and dig deep into each one of these, because they're full of information, full of pictures of Allegros and Maestros and Metros and Minis and stuff like that. It's super, super interesting. So let's start off with this pocket guide for the use of Leyland car salesmen only. So basically these books were for at Leyland car dealerships when annoying customers, that's a quote from the book by the way, I'll find it in a minute, basically ask funny questions about the cars and they want to know. So then Mr. Leyland man would go, oh yes, and he'd go in his pocket and he'd grab out his little pocket guide and he'd go, right, okay, you're interested in an MG sports car. It does 0 to 60, blah, blah, blah. Maximum speed is blah, blah, blah. And it tells you all of the facts about each car, which I think is it's really nice, to be honest. I think everybody that likes cars should have a billion of these pocket guides just in a rucksack behind them at all times. It's great. Nice Leyland Cars logo at the bottom there. Nice colour scheme as well. It's very brummy. First page, February 1978, as it says there. Prepared by Product Training, Sales and Marketing Division, Leyland Cars. First published October 1976 and revised in June 1977, and then revised again in February 1978. So it's had a few updates over time. So it says, Pocket Guide. The brochure is designed to supplement other product training publications by providing you with the basic specification of all Leyland model ranges together with a brief summary of competitors' product details. The Pocket Guide will conveniently supply those items of specification which are so easy to forget. A handy fact finder to refer to when the customer, quote, asks those awkward questions. I love the way they put that. That just screams BL. Awkward questions that customers may ask. You wouldn't get that nowadays with like Holdcroft Renault or something in 2020. You wouldn't get something like this that says customers with awkward questions. It's really quite funny. The first section includes a comprehensive specification of Leyland cars by model range, giving full technical details together with the feature content, dimensions taken to the nearest inch. It's inches as well, very ancient, and performance and economy figures, blah, blah, blah. The second section, how we compare, includes Leyland cars and competitors' engine size, power output, exterior dimensions, insurance grouping, and performance and economy figures. Wow! And there's a little contents here of what is in each page: Mini, Allegro, Marina, Maxi, Princess, MG sports cars, Dolomite, Triumph sports cars, Rover, Range Rover, Jaguar/Daimler, and Jaguar XJS. So there's a lot in this book, as you can see, because it's probably quite thick to be honest, and I'm still so surprised how good condition it's in. I mean, inside it looks brand new. What you've got to remember is these have been in the back pockets along with a box of Marlboro or something, like in the 1970s. This one, I think this one isn't. Yeah, 1970s. And they're still in this good condition. Now, I think Lewis said you can actually buy a set of these for your own. I think there's a seller on eBay that collected them and is selling them, but I might be wrong, so don't take my word for it. Anyway, I think we should kick off with, let's talk about some cars, shall we? Because I've got the specs for them, and let's kick off with the Mini. I'm not going to do every single page because I will be here for hours, and it will turn into one of my hour-long Lego documentaries, and I'm sure people probably don't give one. So, the Mini is legendary. The Minis have been around for an awful long time. My granddad had multiple Minis, and he crashed one, and very, very nearly died in one, actually. They're not safe cars, but they're small and they're funky. That's where they win over some other small cars. Not the Fiat Panda, obviously. That's just sublime. Capacity. It's got the capacity of each engine: 850, 1000, and the 1275 GT. And then, and Clubman Saloon Estate, sorry. And then it's got all of the specs: capacity, number of cylinders, all being 4, bore in millimetres, whatever that is, and stroke in millimetres, whatever that is. It's all very, very technical. But I can't actually imagine somebody going to a Mini dealership and saying, what is the bore in millimetres of a 1275 GT Mini? I don't know. I just can't picture it really, but it's nice that they go into that amount of detail. Compression ratio, brake horsepower at a certain amount of RPM. So, for example, the 850cc has 33 horsepower, wow, at 5,300 RPM. 33 horsepower. That was probably quite a bit back in the 70s for a small car, and most small cars now are probably over double. It's amazing, and that's what turbos do to cars. Torque, gear ratios for first to fourth and then reverse, and your final drive and your automatic transmission types and suspension. It's boffin books, really, is what it is. They're just full of information. Really, really nice. There's one for the Allegro. I'm not going to go through everything, but if you're interested in some of these cars, then do feel free to pause the video and do have a look. Now, the Allegro, it's a very, very interesting car, isn't it? Everybody hates it, but I have a certain soft spot for it. If I was to see one, I would probably stop and have a look at one. That's just me, really. I'm a bit weird when it comes to cars. One car I'm not a big fan of, which is in this book as well, is the Austin Princess, although it might be in the Austin Rover book here that we'll come on to in a bit. The Princess is it's a weird car. I think James May drove one in a Top Gear special once. But it's not a car for me. Not a car for me at all. It's the Allegro Estate, which is a 3-door, weirdly. Don't get that. Many people don't get it. Again, Richard Hammond's dad used to have one, while James May and Jeremy Clarkson's dads both had Cortinas, so he had a rough childhood, and I'm sure you've all seen the Grand Tour episode where he smashed one to bits on a driveway in Birmingham. But there we go, the Allegro. Interesting car indeed. The Marina. Oh, the Marina. Don't worry, there isn't a piano on the roof that's about to fall on the picture, because, again, the Marina's another one of my motoring guilty pleasures. I see them at car shows, and people are like, oh, God, it's a Marina. But I stop and have a look at them because they're interesting, and I wasn't around at the time, so most classic cars are interesting. Just for reference, I'm a 2005 baby, so I wasn't around when these cars were made. A lot of these viewers now watching this video probably would be around, so you might remember these for being terrible, so my mistake. Let me know your stories if you have any of pianos falling the roof, because I'd be interested. I'd be really, really interested. Again, more info on the Marina. It's a really, really nice booklet, this. The Maxi. Yes, the Maxi. Again, it's got the engine sizes, 1500cc, 1750 and 1750 HL. I don't know what HL stands for. Don't really know. But it's got tyres as well. Tyre pressures for front and rear. Tyre size and type. And then it's got electrics, steering, brakes, dimensions, transmission again. It's so interesting. I know a lot of people in my year will probably be watching this video thinking, what on earth, I'm not this guy's friend anymore. But this is interesting to me. The Maxi, it's a good car. Again, it's guilty pleasure. I know a lot of people probably hate BL cars, with the exception of a few people that actually like them. The Princess, here we go. We're coming to it now. It's in this book. It might be in the other book as well. Princess. Now, let's try and get the picture of it. There it is. Now, it's just even I think it looks a bit funny in a way, funny in a negative way. It's not the car for me at all, really. Should we try and find some power specifications about this? So you can get it in a 1800cc or a 2200cc, 2200, 4-cylinder or a 6-cylinder. So that's not bad, 6-cylinder. But it's a 6-cylinder 2.2 litre producing how much horsepower? 110. Now, our 1.5 litre diesel Renault Scenic 4-cylinder produces 110 horsepower. So it just shows how much engines have come along, again, with turbos. It's amazing. A lot of these cars back in the day, if you put a turbo on them, I bet they're probably quite quick. So there we go. Princess. It's very interesting. And then I believe that's the facelift. No, that's the Princess 2200 HLS. So it's got square headlamps. It looks a bit like a Peugeot from the front, doesn't it? An elderly Peugeot. 4-door or 5-door. Just looks a bit funny, doesn't it really? It's not for me at all. MG sports cars, very, very nice. I do like an MG. I know Lewis, who owns these booklets. Again, I'll put his Instagram down in the description, so do give him a follow. He's a very nice guy. He has just sold his Toyota Aygo 1 litre 3-cylinder VVTi thing. Lovely, lovely. Known as the Macmobile. He's just sold it for an MG3 1.5 litre. And I think by the time this video is live, I think he'll have it. It's just had new tyres and brakes. It's a very, very nice thing. So he's an MG fan, like I am. But MGs are so cool, especially the midgets and stuff like that. And one of my granddad's friends has an MG, restored and lovely, and it's in a nice red. It's gorgeous. It's properly gorgeous, except someone like me probably can't fit in one because I'm quite tall. Now we're moving on to the Dolomite. I believe that was on Top Gear as well at one point. I think, did Jeremy Clarkson drive one once? I don't think it was Mallorca. I don't really know. Again, a lot of these Leyland cars were on Top Gear for the old Challengers back in the day. So I'm going to have to do some research after I've had a look at this, because they have been on my desk, these booklets, for about 2 weeks, and I haven't had a proper look at them. I've been saving it for the video, so I know them just as much as the viewers do. But there you go. What we're going to have to do, because we're coming up to about 12 minutes looking at these brochures, we're going to have to fast forward a bit. Triumph sports cars, very nice. As a Triumph owner, kind of. I've got a bicycle, if that counts. Do like Triumphs. Massive sucker for a Triumph. TR, whatever. Very, very nice cars. Again, it's got your tyre sizes and your brake diameters for your rear. Servo assistance, dual circuit. It's really, really amazing. Interior, that is lovely. I love the seats and the interior. It's just lovely, isn't it? I do like classic interiors. I think interiors are falling for the worst at the moment. But there we go. Especially BMW with their new hexagon steering wheel in their iX. It's interesting. Rover, is that an SD1 or something like that? That is really quite nice, to be fair. Again, a guilty pleasure car. I'm 50-50 on them, to be honest. But there we go. Rover. Maximum speed for the most powerful version is 122, and that's 3.5 litres. 122 mile per hour. And 0 to 60 in 8.9 seconds, I'm looking here. That's quite dismal, if I'm honest. Our 1.4 Panda gets as much power, and that's non-turbo. So again, engines have come a long way. Massive long way. So there we go. What else is there in this? Range Rover. My granddad used to have one, and my mum has many memories in it, and my auntie. Apparently he was a bit of a dog. He had a lot of Land Rovers as well. So there we go. He's probably watching this, so hello granddad if you're watching this. Range Rover capacity 3.5 litre V8. What else? Brake horsepower 130 at 5,000 RPM. It's quite interesting, but it's a V8, 130 horsepower. Jeez, that's quite dismal. But there we go, 3-door Range Rover, extreme classic, really, really nice, and that sort of influenced SUVs today, I suppose, with them catching on. Jaguar Daimler, very, very cool. Let's have a look here at the most powerful. 5.3 litre V12. That has, guess the horsepower, 285 horsepower at 5,750 RPM. So there we go. Not many pages to go in this book. And then we can move on to the Austin Rover one. There isn't many pictures. I don't think there's any pictures in that one, so it's just info, unfortunately. Jaguar Daimler. I do love an old Jag and an old Daimler. I've got a few pictures, actually. I've lost a lot because my phone deleted a lot of them just itself. I got really angry. on the morning I went to Piston Park, actually. Again, video in the pop-out banner up there. Anyway, I have a lot of videos of old Jags at car shows, and I had a nice panoramic picture of like 4 Jaguars in a row, and it was really nice. Not that era though, they were like early 2000s, late 90s. That's an XJS, lovely, lovely machine, a V12 again, I believe. At 50 mile per hour, you get about 22 mpg. Overall, you get about 15 mpg. Touring mpg is 17.3, and that's from Autocar. So there we go. That is really interesting. And then there's some features for the Jaguar XJS: full air conditioning, tinted glass, laminated windscreen, heated rear window, electronically operated windows, radio stereo cassette player, blah blah blah. 2 radio speakers. Impressive. That's really nice. And then how we compare, there's the Maxi Marina, blah blah blah. And then it's comparing it to all of the other cars, I suppose. I believe there's a 2CV in here as well. Yeah, Citroen 2CV. My granddad has one, and that's the car that got me into cars. 602cc, although my granddad's is 652, I believe, because he got the upgraded engine. 28 horsepower. It's a lot. 28 horsepower is just, it shivers your spine, doesn't it? Really. Sigmas, Datsun, Ferrari, Fiat 126. Yes, let's do that. 594cc, producing 23 horsepower, and then 0 to 60 in 42 seconds. Top speed 63. That is amazing. I love the 126. Wonderful, wonderful machine. But this is not to do this video because it's not British Leyland. It's Italian, or Italian junk, as a lot of people say. Don't say that in the comments because I get really angry. So there we go. Super cover. Leyland cars. No limit mileage to the first year's warranty. A 69-point check out, free service before the car goes into the road, blah blah blah. So there we go. That's a look at this pocket guide for the use of Leyland car salesman only booklets. Really interesting, actually. If you can get hold of one, get one, because there's a lot of facts in here. I'm gonna have a break. I'm gonna have a drink and a bit of a stretch because I've got an achy back. Again, I'm turning into an old man, and then we're gonna have a look at this. So now we've had the pocket guide read for British Leyland, we're going to move on to the other side of Leyland, to the pocket guide, October 1984, so 6 years on now, for Austin Rover. Again, for the use of Austin Rover, salesman only. So not me. So don't tell anybody. If there's any Rozzers on this YouTube video, don't catch me. Because, you know, I'm privileged. You know, I can pretend to be an Austin Rover salesman just a bit late in 2020. So, in this pocket guide, there's, again, contents using the guide: Supercare, Mini, Metro, Maestro, Montego, love a Montego, Rover 213, and then just Rover in general. Austin Rover, driving at its best. I like that a lot. I love Austin Rovers, they're great. Using this guide, so there's symbols now, because they all refer to symbols in this book. So that's for engine, that's for transmission, suspension, wheels and tyres, electrical, steering, brakes, dimensions, performance, economy, weights, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is forward visibility, styling and exterior equipment, engine servicing and performance and economy, aerodynamics, exterior features, tyres, wheels, brakes, suspension and underbody protection, rear visibility, exterior equipment, boot and load space, and then rear access, legroom and comfort features, and then at the bottom, front access, legroom, seating, instruments and controls, comfort features, and interior fittings. That's interesting, isn't it? So using this guide. The second part gives the feature content of each model range to assist you when making your presentation to a customer. The features have been grouped together by model and are in their respective walk-around positions. The numbers on the left identify the various positions of the showroom presentation along with the related benefits. Oh, that's interesting, isn't it? So, again, Austin Rover Supercare, the complete customer care plan. Probably not valid anymore, any of that. Servicing, probably needed that if you own an Austin Rover. Your Super Shield and your Super Cover. Super Shore, Super Card. I don't know what these are. Super Check, Super Trust, Super Credit, Super Assurance. They like the word super, don't they, in BL? Austin Mini, 25 years young. As cheeky and youthful as ever, Mini celebrated its 25th successful year with the elegant Mini 25 Special Edition. So it's celebrating 25 years. What's that now? It's celebrating like nearly 60 or something like that. Or probably more, to be fair. Still unrivaled for its ultra-compact shape, enjoyable handling and legendary economy, this amazing little car continues to offer an ideal form of personal transport. For 1985, Mini takes on board bright new interior colours and trim, with sawtooth seat facings on City E and chalk stripe velvet on the Mini Mayfair. I did see a Mini Mayfair the other day actually. 12-inch wheels with front disc brakes and stylish wheel arch spats. What are spats? Are now fitted to both models, with the Mini City E already. It's not an electric, by the way. It's just Mini City E. And I wonder if Mini actually knew back then they'd make an electric Mini. They wouldn't have done, but it was cool if they would have known. Already comprehensively equipped, and every refinement on the luxurious Mayfair. Luxurious. The thoroughly modern Mini is all set to sail boldly into 1985. So 1 litre City E Mayfair. So the Austin Mini City E Mayfair, it's got here the power. This is for the engine. Capacity 998cc. 4-cylinder. Again, there's bore and stroke and all of that complicated words. Brake horsepower 40 horsepower at 5,000 RPM. We've gone through this already in the other pocket guide, but we'll have a look anyway. City Mayfair. Gear ratios, front suspension, rear suspension, both independent. Tyres, size, pressure, blah blah blah, and then wheel diameter, turns lock to lock, 2.72. Turning circle, curb to curb, is 28.5. I don't know what units this is in. Power assistance, NA. I like that, just NA. Keep it as that. There is none. It's just you. Who needs a gym? Austin Mini again. MPG, urban, 45 MPG. Steady at 56 mph, 60 MPG. At 75 miles per hour, which is over the speed limit, wow, it's 44 MPG. So the composite average is 42 MPG, which gives it a 4-star fuel star rating. That's nice, isn't it? They used to give it ratings. Should bring that back, to be fair. We'll move away from Austin Mini because we've put a lot of Mini stuff into this video, and some people don't like Minis. Austin Metro. Now, I do like a Metro. There's somebody on Twitter, and he has a YouTube channel called Twin Cam. He's called Ed Westby, and he does videos like this where he sits down with brochures. And a big fan of his channel, actually. So if you're watching again, hello. And he has an Austin Metro, a Rover Metro. Yes, because, you know, Austin Rover, they're sort of the same thing. So yeah, he has a Rover Metro, and it's gorgeous. And that's his first car, and it's in white, and it's got lovely wheels, and it's mint. It's absolutely mint. And he uses it to, you know, get around, and I love that. It's really, really nice. So massive respect for doing that. I love a Metro. They're lovely. But I think the Mini struggled because of the Metro, and that's why the Mayfair and the other Mini variants came out, to try and give it a rebirth. It's obviously not done too bad because the Mini's still going on today, just looking a bit different, just a bit, hey. So Austin Metro capacity, there's a lot of different engine sizes, as you can see here, although they're all 4-cylinder and producing around 44 to 71 horsepower, so that's not bad really for a Metro. Got to remember it's a small car. So there we go. Again, pause if you want to see any of these. I'll just flick through a bit. Metro again. Urban MPG. For the city, Metro is 43 MPG. Random figure, if you really care. MG Metro, which is the MG version of the Austin Metro, obviously. You could get it at a 1275cc only. But that one's with a turbo. Wow, that would have been quite crazy. Didn't know they made an MG Metro turbo. Now I do. So that has 93 horsepower compared to 72 from the non-turbo. So there we go. That's really interesting, actually. We all learned something, even me. Moving on to the next car on this list. Austin Metro, again. Black door handles, ventilated front discs, blah, blah, blah. And rear rear drum brakes, brake servo, HI, split divided brake system, grey painted anti-chip sills. There's a lot of specs. Again, pause if you want to see it. Da-da-da. There we go. Austin Metro again. MG Metro. Austin Metro. Austin Maestro. I wish there was pictures in this. It's got a rating here, 10 out of 10. Voted best family car in 1984 by What Car magazine and described by the Daily Mail as the most innovative everyday car since the Mini. Austin Maestro continues to sell the standards. to set the standards. The unbeatable space efficiency and versatility of its 5-door hatchback styling, masterful road holding and ride and class-beating economy are now offered in a 10 model range, blah, blah, blah. It goes on. That's really interesting, actually. 10 out of 10. Maestro did very well. And obviously, there's one there. Or is that a Montego? Let me refer to the letter that's here. Yeah, it is a Maestro. No, 1.3 litre, 1989 or 90. So yeah, it is a Maestro. There's one there. Voted best 4-door car since the Mini. But there we go. Move away from the Maestro. I think the Montego might be next. Because I've had a flick through these. I haven't read them properly, so I sort of have a feeling what's coming up. There's a lot of information on the Maestro. There we go. Austin Montego. Designed for living, perfect for driving. The launch of the Austin Montego. I love that name, Montego, a bit like Mondeo. Saw the arrival of a born leader in the medium sector. With passenger and luggage room that outspaces every rival, stunning specification and new peaks of performance and economy, Montego is also an accomplished driver's car, handling with precision and riding to perfection. They like picking up their cars, don't they, Austin? But it's a good car. I like the look of it. Again, all of the engine specs and power and stuff like that. What's the next car in this list? Montego Estate versus Sierra Estate. So this is comparing it to Ford and then comparing it to the Vauxhall Cavalier Estate. So that's really interesting. So should we go for towing capacity? This is the 1.6 models for each car. The Montego 21.1 CWT. The Sierra is 21.7 CWT. And then the Cavalier is 21.0 CWT. So basically, if you want to tow and you want a 1.6, then get the Sierra and then the Montego and then the Cavalier. It's interesting how they compare it. I don't know why they put a car that's better than it for towing, but there we go. Austin Montego again. Austin Montego. Blah, blah, blah. Rover 200 series, up to the mark. The resounding success of the 200 series has confirmed beyond doubt its ability to live up to the Rover mark. Wow. Good car. They're all good cars, aren't they? Rover 200 series. I love a good Rover. I see a lot of these old cars driving by and they just make me smile more than if I saw a Lamborghini. It's just nice. Again, Rover. Prestige, power and pedigree. Wow, that is powerful, isn't it? But there we go. Rover again. Rover, Rover. Rover, Rover again. Rover, Rover, Rover. And then we're coming up to the end of the brochure. That is it. Optional extras, October 1984 for the Rover. And there we go. There's another page here. Produced by Training Services in Warwickshire. The information included in this book, to the best of our knowledge, correct at the time and going to press. However, it cannot be guaranteed that all details will be correct at a later date. October 1984. So there we go. We have had a look through these brochures. We've had a look at the pictures. And we've had a read through the letter. So there we go. They've been on my desk for about 2 weeks, probably just over 2 weeks now. And I finally got it done. So there we go. That was really interesting, actually. My verdict is I have a lot more respect for British Leyland than I did do before I started recording this video, because I used to like them. Didn't know a lot about them particularly, but now I do. And just before I send them back to Lewis, back up in Aberdeen, I'm going to have a nice read through these before bed and, you know, revise my stats, because exams are done at school, so I may as well learn something more useful like BL, because British Leyland is really, really good. If you enjoy videos like these, then do let me know down in the comments. And if you have brochures that you'd be willing to send to me, then please do get in touch. And then I'd love to see them. I'd love to do a recording of them. I do have some brochures myself. I've got like one of the Renault Twingo when it came out, the Mark III model. I've got one of the Honda E that I got from Goodwood. Mostly modern cars, but if I ever would with my granddad, I'm sure I can get hold of some old car history. I mean, he's got a load of Haynes manuals and stuff like that I could probably get hold of for a YouTube video. So there we go, one of the first of hopefully many sit down looking at brochure videos. Hope you have enjoyed it. Remember to follow me on social media at DanielCars05, and I will see you in another video. If I don't upload until Christmas, which I don't know if I will, I've got plans for more content. Yeah, keep an eye on my social media and you'll see updates. If I don't upload a video before Christmas, and do have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I will see you soon for another video. Farewell. A massive thank you to Lewis, who sent the brochures down south to me to have a look at. It's greatly appreciated. Please, every single viewer in this video, if you have Instagram, you probably should do, it's 2020, do go in the description below and check out his Instagram, give him a follow. He does detailing, he works at Home Bargains, and he's a very, very nice guy to have a chat with, and he's got a very, very nice MG and a nice Peugeot van that he calls Pierre. So there we go. And it sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. It's interesting to see, isn't it, really? But anyway, please give him a follow and give me a follow as well at DanielCars05. And that is it. See you soon. Just before you go, don't forget to subscribe for more fun content.